On this episode, we're eating meat with our hands. Okay. Or is there a better one-liner for that?
I love it.
How's my hair look?
Yeah, leaning forward is always good. Yeah, leaning forward. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the vlog.
I do.
Much appreciated.
To the beefsteak.
To the beefsteak.
I am super excited today to talk a little bit about what it takes to design a great experience. I have with me two of my very good friends and co-founders of The Chicago Beefsteak, the godfather of the beefsteak, James Gregory out of Richmond, Virginia, came up with an idea and he called on Nate and I to help him. James, what is the beefsteak?
The Chicago Beefsteak tries to follow as closely as possible All You Can Hold for $5, which is an article written by Joseph Mitchell. He was obsessed with the New York of the 1800s, when it was a little more wide open, a little more free, that kind of thing. So a lot of his stories describe kind of a fleeting city of New York. The experience was created, probably gone out, and it was time to be resurrected with my group and my friends. We lacked kind of an annual centralized event that was a little more formal than a drink deal at a Lincoln Park bar. The experience that we have today is very similar to the first experience we started out with, and that's not always something that's easy to do. You knew who were your friends and who weren't, who was going to pony up $100 for a night. The meat is really central to the theme. We want to have quality meat.
Great, so James, obviously this is a very historical event in that we really try to keep it true to the tradition. But it's really focused on the meat. Tell us about that.
Our first butcher put our menu together in 2009, and we've pretty much stuck with that the whole time. You start out with some appetizers. We try to find some local hamburger meat to make mini burgers, and then we have New Zealand lamb lollipops. If you've ever been to a beefsteak before, you can tell it's kind of survival of the fittest with the trays coming out and the guys just absolutely mobbing that. And then once we're seated, we have strip loin served on day-old bread. And we end with Wagyu.
So Nate, I'll ask you because I understand that there are certain rules to the evening. Can you tell us about a few of those?
Don't be an asshole. We try to avoid deep political discussions, maybe especially in the last few years. You buy your tickets ahead of time, months ahead of time in most cases. Wear a suit. You don an apron so that you're wiping your hands on yourself after you're done eating. There are no utensils allowed, no napkins, and you act like a gentleman. And what happens when you leave is your business.
But let's start to really peel back the onion on the experience. And Jamie, why don't you tell us, walk us through the experience from a participant standpoint, all the way from when they buy a ticket to coming here, and what do they experience walking in the door, and of course the actual event.
It starts as early as you want. I would recommend starting at about 6 o'clock at the Chicago Brauhaus, which is one of our favorite spots here in Lincoln Square. When you get there, there's generally about 50 guys in suits mobbing the bar, drinking delicious German beer. And when you're done, you walk through the back of the Brauhaus in a very Martin Scorsese-like scene. If anybody's seen Goodfellas, you walk back through Harry's kitchen where Harry Kempf and his ladies are back there cooking. And you go across Western Avenue to the Donk House. Arrive at the 5th floor off the elevator in the Grand Marooned Ballroom. You are greeted by a first impression associate who will take your coat and check it. Then you get to put your apron on and get yourself a cocktail. You get your bull name from the PBR Bull Riding Tour, should you choose to do that. High five, hug, whatever you want to do. A lot of these people that, again, you see once a year, generally, and get to hang out with them. The trays of food start coming through at that point, the past appetizers. We're not a wedding. We want to go big on the appetizers.
There seems to be this build-up to the main event.
A really kind of interesting scene to see 250 dudes in suits all sitting waiting for dinner. And then as the meat is prepared, it's brought out by the staff on trays, so it's just a big tray of red meat on day-old bread. So the tray goes down on the table, and it doesn't last very long. It's pretty much like all hands are in.
Yeah, and the meat is so good that Honestly, to eat it with a knife and fork would take way too much time. You stack the bread, and the bread gets higher and higher and higher and higher.
So I want to talk about the butcher, because the butcher tends to, throughout the evening, take on more and more of an iconic status, right? The butcher becomes almost the
superhero.
The superhero of the evening.
We introduce our butcher, who is Carol Himmels, and her sister Diana. And Carol and Diana will come up and we will give them a big round of applause. We generally sing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow, or She's a Jolly Good Fellow in this case.
Talk to us a little bit about the engagement of the beefsteak and why engagement with the brand and engagement with the experience is so important, and the types of engagement that we try to promote with this experience.
I knew this would take a while to catch on. I like companies, I like ideas, I like things that are around for the long term, right? It's been what I would call a slow burn, you know, starting from the 12, 15 guys we had the first year.
One of the maybe rules that we missed at the beginning is that you get a paper invitation that is hand addressed. Correct?
Yeah, hand addressed. It's all designed by my wife, Neil Gregory.
Be some outtakes.
I love Neil. Neil is my wife.
Our engagement with the participants is very important. They don't get automatic emails drafted in masses. You get individualized emails based on your inquiry. That's just the organic nature of the event that we want to make sure that we maintain. It's good.
All right, Ern, you ready to boogie? Ernie's drumming.
Yeah.